Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. The wait is finally over. We have MacBook Air with M3 chip. Honestly, I thought that Apple might announce it in their spring event or at least in a fancier way, but they just dropped it as if it's just another product, like nothing special, nothing that matters. But to the tech world, to me, it matters, and there are some questions which people now they have. Should I upgrade to MacBook M3 if I have the MacBook Air M1 or the M2? Should I upgrade from my MacBook Pro to my MacBook Air? Is it worth the price? We're gonna check this out, but let's first talk about what the MacBook M3 is like. The design, how it performs compared to other computers, and itself. Is it more powerful than the MacBook Air has ever been? There's so many things to cover, so many things to talk about. So now, let's dive in. What is the MacBook Air with M3? It's the same device, but just with a better chip. So I'm gonna pop a picture right here. As you can see from hardware, aka the design, it looks exactly the same. Apple hasn't done absolutely any changes to the MacBook. And here are the basic statistics. So basically we have a MacBook Air, obviously with M3. It has 13.6-inch liquid Retina display. We have 8-core CPU, 10-core GPU. You can upgrade it to 24 gigs undefined memory, and up to 2 terabytes as usual. The MacBook Air is only available up to 2 terabytes. So if you have or need more memory for all the things that you keep, like video, photos, games, whatever you have, maybe you should consider about the MacBook Pro. Personally, I feel like the best scenario for me is 2 terabytes because the current laptop I'm using is 1 terabyte. And yes, I found out the storage issue that I had, where it was coming from, but I still feel like if I'm gonna get a MacBook at any sort, it will be 2 terabytes because for my needs there is no need to go to 8 terabytes how some creators are doing. And also it's not gonna make a difference except that from my bank account there will be stolen more money if I upgrade with more memory. But the basic characteristics basically from the M3 MacBook Air and the M2 MacBook Air are exactly the same. But now let's see what are the differences. One of the questions that the ordinary customer might have is, should I upgrade my MacBook Air from M1 or M2 to the M3? And I will say yes, but it depends on. First, I will say that if you have an Intel MacBook Air, an upgrade is definitely needed. I have watched so many reviews of people like talking about the MacBook Air and the Pros since they started with the Apple Silicon chips, and everybody will say for the MacBook Air, if you have an Intel MacBook, just upgrade. No matter to which chip you will choose, just upgrade because you immediately see the difference. And not only the performance, hardware, and everything is just better with Apple Silicon chips. But now, if you have an M2, I will say maybe it's not necessarily for you to upgrade to M3, but from M1 it might be. So now let's compare these and see how they perform next to each other, talking about the chips. So as you can see here, the system chip of the M1, it has 8-core CPU with 4 performance cores and 4 efficiency cores, 7-core GPU, 16-core neural engine. The media engine has hardware accelerated H264 and HEVC. It has video decode and encode engine. When it comes to M2, it's similar. It has 8-core CPU, 4 performance cores with 4 efficiency cores, up to 10-core GPU they have evaluated, 16-core neural engine, and 100 gigabits per second memory bandwidth. For the media engine, it keeps the same except that you have ProRes and ProRes RAW. You have video decode and encode, and you have ProRes encode and decode engine. And for the M3, you still have the 8-core CPU with 4 performance cores and 4 efficiency cores, up to 10-core GPU, hardware accelerated ray tracing, have 16-core neural engine, and 100 gigabits of memory bandwidth. With the media engine, it kind of keeps it the same with the MacBook Air 13-inch with the M2, but it has the AV1 decode engine. So as you can see, from the M2 to the M3, the upgrade won't be that visible. It depends on what you're using your MacBook Air for. But if you have an M1, I consider that maybe you should upgrade because yes, you will definitely see some performance boost. And also, like, it might seem faster, better for you. But again, it depends on what you're using your MacBook for. So the storage, the memory, and the display of the all M chips of the MacBook Air remain the same. The only difference is that from the M2 and the M3, you can upgrade to 24 gigs of undefined memory, while it was only 16 gigs on the M1. The storage as I already said, you can upgrade the MacBook Air only to 2 TB. So if you need more storage, you should consider getting a MacBook Pro. But I feel like if you're coding or just doing basic videos which don't take much storage and they're not the 8K, for example, I think the 2 TB will be perfect for you. You don't need to spend more money just to get more storage. And obviously you can always edit your videos from external drive. So technically I feel like 2 TB for a regular user like me are more than enough, maybe even 1 TB. My current laptop is with 1 TB and it's doing pretty fine. I don't have any complaints, so the storage is enough. The display remains the same, 30.6 inches liquid retina display. Of course, they have announced the MacBook Air with M2 and M3 15-inch. So if you want somewhere in the mid-range, we had 13, we had 14, we had 16-inch. We didn't have something in between, so the 15-inch now is available if you want to get it as well. The only update they have done is to the camera, that now from the M2 and the M3 it goes to 1080p HD front-facing camera, and it was 720p on the M1. But personally, yes, some people might use this camera to shoot their videos, but I imagine like a scenario where you're doing like Zoom calls, meetings, you know, you're doing conference calls or something like this. So I don't feel like you need a 4K front-facing camera. Yes, personally, I would like it because if I shoot my videos and most of the content which is on my phone is 4K, and if I'm shooting something on the camera on my laptop to be 4K as well, it's a good idea. But I feel like it's more than enough that nowadays most of the YouTube videos that I watch are also 1080p. Like, I see the shift to the 4K videos with higher resolution, but still some people are keeping it to HD, so 1080p is a good quality for a front-facing camera. Let's talk about the power and the battery a little bit of the MacBook Air, because personally, to me, this is what matters the most when I'm buying a device. I didn't bought my iPhone 14 Pro Max only because of the camera. It was because of the battery life. Previously, I had the iPhone XS, and honestly, it's a great phone. Now my dad has it. Like, I don't complain. I drained the battery to 74%, and on the days when I was filming videos, let's just say that sometimes I had to charge it again up to some percentage, and it's not like it's the biggest inconvenience, but I prefer to have a little bit extra battery. It was up to 14 hours of battery, which was the best on an iPhone that has ever existed up to then, when iPhone XS was the newest phone. Now this one has up to 29 hours of battery, which is significantly improving for me, and I love this so much. And the same goes for my laptop, for my iPad, or any other device that I'm buying. How many people have said in their videos that they're editing their videos on the plane? Like, a lot. And this is what you need, a good battery in a laptop. So let's check what the M chips in the MacBook Air have to do with their battery lives. So the M1 has up to 15 hours wireless web, up to 18 hours Apple TV app movie playback, integrated 49.9 watt-hour lithium polymer battery, 30 watt USB-C power adapter. The M2 and the M3 look identical. So up to 15 hours wireless web, up to 18 hours Apple TV app movie playback, integrated 52.6 watt-hour lithium polymer battery, 30 watt USB power adapter included with M2 with 8-core GPU, 30 watt dual USB-C port, compact power adapter included with the M2 with 10-core GPU and 512 gigs of storage, configurable with the M2 with 8-core GPU, and fast charge capable with available 70 watt USB-C power adapter. And on the M3 we have exactly the same. So as you can see, they're improving the battery, because I feel like when it comes to a device, this is people's biggest complaint. For example, my laptop, if I edit this video like for an hour and it will go from 100 to 20%, I don't know, is it because I have used it for 3 years and kind of have drained it? Also, this thing is like turned on all the time. It sleeps when I sleep. So pretty much I feel like this is the biggest inconvenience, but I do not put it on charge because of this issue. I just like this 10% of brightness that it has when it's turned on. And maybe if I ever get a MacBook, this will kind of resolve my issue, because I just like a little bit brighter depending on the conditions where I am. Yes, mostly I am inside, but I would like to have a laptop with a good brightness and a good battery life. This is what matters to me, except for the performance, of course. Now to the model which all we have been waiting for, which is better, the MacBook Air or the MacBook Pro? I will say both, depending on what you need and what your expectations are. So if we talk about the basic characteristics of the chips, I'm comparing the MacBook Air 13-inch M3 and the 14-inch MacBook Pro M3, not the M3 Pro or Max, just the regular M3. So the characteristics or at least the basic ones are the same except for the battery life. It's upgraded from 18 hours on the Air to 22 hours on the Pro. I can give you all the detailed characteristics. There are slightly differences, of course. The MacBook Pro is better. Let's talk about for an ordinary consumer what they would want. As you can see by the number of subscribers that I have, I'm not the YouTuber who can afford to have every single Apple product. Yes, if I say I can afford something, it means for one single thing only. If you can buy all the things that I said I can afford, this means that I can afford them, because that's a lot of money which I currently do not have. But let's talk about the perspective. Okay, I'm an ordinary consumer. All I do on my laptop, except for browsing on the internet and watch videos, I do coding, because this is what my career is, my major, what I'm studying, and I'm editing my YouTube videos. That's it. Yes, I sometimes edit some pictures and stuff like this, but not that often. This is how I make my thumbnails, and I do not use Photoshop. Just to say it, so it's not taking me that much space. LumaFusion, I have seen some creators using it. No, I do not use that either. And I have to say I'm not using that much space, or to say to push my laptop to the edge, so it kind of is dying. Yes, except for the problems that I have with the battery. I don't know if I should say it's a problem, or maybe because this is a 3-year-old laptop that I haven't changed. I have only given for a professional cleaning on the inside, and that's it. But let's just talk, what do you need? Okay, for watching videos, browsing on the internet and stuff like this, any MacBook will do the work, even the most basic one. Let's talk about the storage. What are you using? If you downloading a lot of movies, you don't want to watch them online, you have a lot of videos, you have a lot of photos, you might need to get a bit more storage depending on the quality of these videos and photos. For example, I'm going to give you a fresh one. Something was eating up my storage on my laptop. I had no idea what it was until I found out that all the videos that I edit somehow have a backup in one folder, and this ate like 50 gigabytes of storage. And since I have 1 terabyte, my disk C is with 196 gigabytes of storage, which is enough. Maybe not like the most that you can ever have, but for me is doing the job. Also, like, I'm coding, like, for such projects and programs that I have done, different websites, different small programs, for example, like find the sum of two numbers in C++ or any other language. You do not need the best of the best. It's just a simple task. So the other question is it worth the price? And I must say, yes, it is. Many people were complaining about the prices of Apple, like the iPhone's too expensive, these AirPods Max like $500 for headphones. Are you crazy? You're buying from Apple, not from your local dumpster dive when you get things for free, okay? Understand these prices are evaluating, not only from Apple, not only in the tech world, just in general. For example, when I go grocery shopping, like some things have changed drastically, like the prices. Like I feel like every week we are getting a new price for a regular item. Take, for example, a bread or something. So I would say shout out to Apple for keeping the prices on the iPhones and other products the same as the last year. Many people were complaining that the iPhone 15 Pro Max now starts at $1,199. It's more expensive than the 14 Pro Max. And I would say, no, it's not. The iPhone 15 Pro Max starts at 256 gigabytes. And the iPhone 14 Pro Max, with the same amount of storage, was with the same price. So basically, no, it's not more expensive, just they eliminated the 128 gigs option. That's it. But some people, I feel like they don't want to understand it. Same goes for the MacBook Air, the MacBook Pro, their headphones, like the iMac and everything else. It just depends on the configuration, the storage, all these things. Of course, evaluate the price because you get more from this device. But understand one thing, you are paying for quality, high quality, no matter from which brand it is. This is how you get it. Nice things are expensive, but it means that you pay them more, it will last you more. This is how it goes. It will last you longer. I have had some stuff, for example, my older iPhone, it still works perfectly. There are no scratches or anything. Yes, it's like 4 years old at this point, but it doesn't matter. My dad uses it and he's glad about it. He likes it. He doesn't have any complaints. So what else do you want? Okay guys, that'll be the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Comment down below which MacBook do you prefer, the MacBook Air or the MacBook Pro. Personally, I feel like both of them are great enough. Just because it's called a Pro, it doesn't mean that you should throw the Air away. No, don't do that. Actually, the MacBook Air is great. And once, like, I watched IJST's video, like, she was recommending, I believe it was the MacBook Air, the M2, and she said, I don't know what to recommend the people anymore, because the MacBook Air became so powerful that it's comparable with the Pro, and at this point, like, it's just depends on your price budget and like what you're doing. Yes, if you're doing a hard intensive task, yes, maybe you should consider the Pro, but For everything else, the Air is the perfect option for you. Like even if you're a student, a teacher, or you can get a discount at this point, or just a regular person, like you don't need to spend much money on the Pro when you can get almost the same performance with the Air. Yes, of course I said almost the same because the Pro will always be a Pro and you have better stuff, like it has more ports, for example, than the Air, but I have the SSD card slot and the HDMI slot, and I never use them on my current laptop. So I feel like if I don't have them, I will find the need to use them. If I have them, I won't use them. But that'll be the video. Hope you enjoyed. Please smash that like button, if you like this video, share it with friends, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel, turn on the bell so you'll be notified whenever I post new videos, and I'm gonna see you next time. Bye.